saying? I just want to know this, and you can move on. But are you saying that your bankroll has a chastity belt? That's what you're saying.
I don't follow the analogy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. You just don't want to say anything.
Fully prepared, the devil he speaks, yeah. And this what he said, you gotta get paid. Do what you gotta do, get to the bag. Stay at your 9 to 5, get on the avenue. You ain't cut out for them tags, yeah. You are not good enough.
Singer, but I've been singing this song for the past 3 weeks, so I'm gonna share it with you. And it goes like, Mika's going to London, Sean's stuck in the studio, Brett slept with his best friend's mom. What you gonna do? And it's
All the way on him, yeah. One time, I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me.
Jay, leaderboards are these things where they track the points when you do really well in tournaments and you win trophies and stuff, and they rank you at the top. Just
All right,
now
now I'm in the know. Thanks.
Yeah. It's okay. I didn't know either.
Yeah, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I gotta go, and this I go. I'm dying to let you, just so you know. Yeah, I'ma go get it. We just keep pushing the limit. I am like all the way with it.
You told her you're a poker player?
Yeah, she knows. I mean, she watches the real. She has my TikTok now and everything. Well, she doesn't know I'm a losing poker player. That's the key. She doesn't know I'm bordering break even.
Right.
Magic how I disappear. Level up, get out of here. Watch how I'm moving, they taking a steal. But I do not fuck with you, making that clear. Yeah. Finally, all the way good.
This is important. How old are you?
Older than you.
Older.
Are you older than me?
This
I
feels
think
like a prop bet.
Right.
Ooh, close.
I think it's probably.
Close.
Come on, it's just a number. How old are you?
I'm 53.
Okay.
I'm 53.
I take the over on that. That's,
You can take the over, but first of all, Grandpa, I look younger than you.
that's true.
I'm in better shape with one arm.
Also true.
That's fair. That's fair.
One time, I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me.
I could see Brett right now in the cash room. He gets 4-betted by a female at the table, and then she turns over a bluff like deuce 3 off, and then he goes, "Hey, here's my number.
Yeah.
You can call me. I'm available."
This how it go. I'm dying to let you just like no. Yeah. I'm going for mine. Going for mine. You put it on me. You put it on me. You better believe. You better believe. You better believe they're looking for me. Yeah. I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me. I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. Believe they're looking for me. Yeah. I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me. I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Chase the Dream Poker Podcast. My name's Rob Gardner. I didn't yell this time. I've been told I'm coming a little hot. I get a little excited. We have a lot of fun on this podcast, so we brought it in more chill. And we got a good night tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We had some exciting scores this past week on the team. We're going to be talking about some prop bets this week. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. Has everybody gotten their patches?
No.
No.
Did you send them Pony Express?
No. Did you send them? Oh, Day got a patch. Interesting.
Well,
Hey,
love
nice
the
patch.
most.
Really nice
Yeah.
job, Day.
Dave was the
I
first
have
one
the
there.
first final table.
Did you get yours, Mika?
I didn't even get a final table and I got one, so maybe
What?
Craig got delivered
Whoa.
to me.
Oh, Craig got
Slow down.
screwed.
So wrong.
Come on.
It was a lie, Rob. It was a lie.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
Listen. I assumed that by the time I shipped it and it got to Mika, she would have made like 12 final tables. Like, to be
That's fair.
fair,
That's fair.
it was an assumption. And if the snowpocalypse of 2025 had not wrecked the Texas area, I mean, are you guys even open for school yet? Like,
oh, for us, we've been back
closed for the winter.
No, we're good.
Apparently, the mail doesn't work. So
You're the worst.
That's true.
You're the worst.
I don't know.
You have to put a stamp on the envelope. You have to put stamps on it.
Right. And I didn't even NASCAR up this weekend. I didn't NASCAR up this weekend, but that was one I would have proudly wore. You're the worst.
Were you guys allowed to wear patches on the final table?
Yeah. They don't really care.
I was surprised.
Spoiler alert.
I was shocker.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I'll say this. I was getting FOMO. I cannot wait to get back on the live felt this weekend, heading to Running Aces in Minneapolis. I've got 5 tournaments in 3 days, and this will be the first time I've played live since the WPT free roll, and this will be my 3rd session since then, counting online. So definitely,
Rob, you've almost played as much poker as me.
Yeah. Probably more.
He's going to play more than you in one weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is sad.
In one day.
Yeah, it's just fire everything. And
what world is it where I have more poker under my belt in this year than Rob? What world are we living in?
Yeah. Well, it's going to change when I get back. We're getting back into things pretty aggressively. I'm getting some projects wrapped up and cannot wait. I've got some big goals. But we're burying the lead here. We need to talk about the lead here. This past week, one of our own had a really huge accomplishment. Worked really hard, battled through some adversity, overcame a lot, and accomplished something amazing. So we're gonna talk about that. Craig, talk to us about this prop bet that you won.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I really did all those things you just said. I battled through. I worked hard. Last Friday night, it was date night. My wife and I and 2 other couples, we went out to this great place in Grandscape called the Cosm. We got to see it's an immersive show. We watched Cirque du Soleil, and then we walked across to this other place called the Puttery. It's like indoor putt courts. And one of the couples, the guy's a colleague of mine, he's the golf coach, right? And he's really, really good golfer. He's like scratch. Like he wants to go pro, and he's really, really good. And he's like, hey, we should make a bet on this. I was like, I'm in. But you're really good, so you have to give. We have to handicap this. Like, I want, how many strokes you're getting at me? He's like 4. I was like, let's go 4.5. He's like, why 4.5? Like, I don't want to push. So he's like, okay, deal. So we bet on this thing. And as soon as he said that, he's like, I'm terrible at this. You've won. I won the bet before we even started. So he's under the pressure. He gave me a 4.5 stroke advantage over 9 holes of putt. But here's what you guys have to know about me. You should probably know this already. Don't bet on me in any type of contest like this, because this guy's clutch. I won straight up. No points, no extra, but I won, and I'm gonna win. If we bet on billiards, we bet on bowling, we bet on, horseshoes. This guy's coming in clutch. I won the bet, so thanks for the acknowledgement, Rob.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Next time I see you, $50, I beat you at putt.
Ooh.
Okay, wait a minute. Are we gonna handicap this thing? Are you a ringer? Are we going to negotiate how many strokes I get?
I had a professional mini golfer in my family once upon a time. So.
Okay, well, therefore, you probably know all the nuances of putt. So I want some. You're gonna have to give me some leverage. You have to give me like, what? How many holes? Talking? How many? Yes. How many? Yes.
0% chance.
I swear to God,
was not a professional putter.
Do not say it.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to
say it. Say swing.
Points,
whatever you want. How many?
I get deduct 2 from my score.
2 what?
2 what? 2 what, Craig?
2 what?
Strokes.
Oh God, Jesus!
2 eggplants.
What a pervert!
So disappointed in this group. So disappointed.
I can't believe I did this. I completely botched this entire start of the show because I was supposed to start this show out by talking about how Sean wasn't here. And so I completely skipped over the Sean not being here part. I'm so sorry. So we have the Raven Rage was here graphic in honor of Sean, who couldn't make it tonight.
Oh, it's almost good.
Hey, Sean.
I'm glad that
When you move the people around, please don't put me over there.
Are you gonna be okay?
To the dark side.
No, I'm not.
Scary. It's kind of scary right here. I've got to tell
scary
you.
Day. It's not kind of scary.
I'm the 13-year-old, but he's the one who's scared of the dark.
Right. I love that. I love you trying to pop the balloon. I love that Mika brought up the little prop bet there, because I really wanted us to take a little time and talk some prop bets. I think that it's kind of a fun narrative for the next, I'd say 3 months, heading into the summer. We can have some fun on the felt prop bets, some fun off the prop belt bet. I can't even talk prop bets. Some of them can be motivational, inspirational things like, we talked about a weight loss prop bet, and we'll talk about that in a sec. Some can just be silly. I actually looked up some potential prop bets online and found some good ones. None of these, there's no pressure for us to do any of these. I'm just throwing a few out to get the creative juices flowing, to get you thinking about ideas. So like we could have a prop bet amongst the group, whoever gets quads first in a live game, then like a little high hand thing would be fun, kind of motivate us to get on the live felt. Who can take a bath every day for an entire month? I thought that would be a really good prop bet.
No, I'm not doing that. You win.
An ice bath.
Are you telling me?
Ice bath.
Are you telling me, Craig?
Okay. Well,
there you go. It could be an ice bath.
If we make it an ice bath, Rob, you might get me to make a prop bet there.
Okay, all right. So there's potential there. Wearing kids' sunglasses at the table every time you play live for like an extended duration of time.
Jay, you have to do it.
Already do it.
My head's too big. Yeah, the whole thing will snap.
I like that one. Eating nothing but Crustables for a week. They're 120 calories each.
Hell
so
no. That's disgusting.
Right.
That's
We're giving that
butter
to
and
Craig.
jelly Crustables.
Craig.
I'll be Crustable if I eat Crustable though.
Craig.
I think that could be a fun one. And then
how much?
And this is one we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't want to get too personal here, and I don't want to TMI, but I think we could do a first one to shave loses competition.
I don't even want to ask.
I always forget that we have Jay in the room. You
guys are banned from this shit. Hey, Day, you and I are gonna go get us a PG-13 show. You and I,
Wait, Day, are you kidding?
I give you 4 minutes.
Wait, Venom, Jay. Day is the worst one in the text thread. What are you talking about?
No.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm an angel.
I'm kidding.
You are. I'm an angel.
I'm sorry.
Wait, weren't you talking about the difference
so
between
naive.
No, don't, Brett, don't do it. Don't do it.
Mika took a deep breath. She's absorbing all of this.
How much is she regretting being part of the text thread now, Mika? How much are you?
I'm amazed that Mika is still part of the text thread.
I actually was going to say I'm impressed with the poise that she's had in that group. She's
never leaving.
Balance. She's brought intelligent conversation. She's laughed at some things, but she hasn't left.
She's brought the greatest picture that she just keeps dropping.
Yeah.
Every time we go down a rabbit hole about something, about somebody's ship sinking or something of that nature. I have it somewhere. But it was the perfect addition. We're very happy to have you in the land of misery, Mika.
All right.
So
now
where Day gets to be the angel that she is.
So let's open this up. Let's talk some prop bets. What's on your guys' mind? What ideas do you have?
Okay, well, I have the first
Greg,
one.
next time mini golf. Oh, sorry, Day. Just stole your.
No,
thunder.
you go. I like the mini golf one.
So,
Yeah,
$8
even.
that'd be fun.
Mini golf. You just won, so there are no strokes that you get.
All right.
And
I'm gonna keep track of these.
There's some pretty cool places in Vegas and maybe Texas. We could do it.
I was thinking summer. Summer would be fun.
Yeah, summer. Would be
Okay,
great.
I have a challenge also for Craig because we enjoy beating Craig because he's the one who cares the most. And so the prop bet, Craig, you have 2 global poker trophies.
I do.
I have 2 global poker trophies. So whoever gets to the third trophy first, what do you want to bet?
$100.
$100. Okay,
geez.
$100. Whoever gets the first trophy, the next trophy.
Booked.
Day,
Let me write it down.
Craig, $100.
Rob, are you writing it down?
I'm getting all these. Yeah.
Okay.
$100.
Okay.
This is getting spicy
And
quick.
what
Love it.
happens if
You have a
somebody
huge-
who doesn't have 2 gets there before you two?
Right, like me.
Yeah,
we
like
know it's not
Jay.
going to be Brett.
Well, do
Brett,
you have
I
any realistic
think Brett deleted
explanation?
half of his
You're-
online accounts.
You have to
So-
get to 3 though first, or do you just have to get 1?
No, they'd have to get to 3 first.
Jesus. I
First
gotta
of all,
work out. Well, the
Day
Grizzlies
has a huge advantage in this bet
Why?
because you stay up till 2 a.m., 3
Right.
a.m., and I have to get home.
That's
I go to
true.
bed at 8. So I don't have as many opportunities to play them, and they don't start
And
those
And
tournaments till
trophy,
late.
yeah.
Did
The
you,
trophy
did you
tournaments are late.
notice how he like tries to kindly use the word old by using a time? He's like, yeah, I got to go to bed at 8 instead of just saying like, hey, I'm old. Like I can't stay up and play these events.
Yeah.
It's fine, Craig. I got you.
Okay.
That's true. Don't they have Saturday and Sunday events?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
They
Rob-
do Saturday and
Yeah.
Sunday all
Maybe
day.
you-
8 of them this
Maybe you can
weekend.
only
8
maybe
each
only those
day.
count.
I'm playing a big live
No.
tournament this weekend, so there you go. You have a huge head start.
You're playing what?
Okay.
The
You're
main.
playing live? Playing
Yeah.
live? Did I hear that?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
All right, what else you got, guys? Mika, you want to talk about our fitness prop bet?
I'm still hooked on this ice bath thing, to be honest.
Yeah, we should do
It
that.
sounds terrible. Like
It
if
is terrible.
it's
I
not
would
something
not
I'm
do
looking
it.
forward to.
I will tell you.
I would
I'll
not
tell
But I
you.
know it's good for me.
Absolutely, so good for you. So good for you.
But
All right.
saunas are supposed to be good too, right?
No,
Like
you're supposed
heat
to do
and
both.
cold.
Yeah, you're supposed to do both. You just want your body to be stressed. Your body's designed to be
Oh
stressed.
well, done. What else?
I've got
No,
that
not,
spades.
not,
It's
not,
not on the
your,
list.
not your type of stress, Rob. Not your type of stress. I mean, like physical stress. Physical stress. Like taxed. But
You talking about the
Mika-
ice? Are you talking about the ice bath?
Yeah, and the heat.
And the heat. Yeah.
Oh,
Right. So Mika and I were talking, texting today about the, we both of us are actively looking to get back in shape, and weight and weight loss is not the best metric because you can be building muscle while you're losing fat, and then your weight wouldn't necessarily be dropping as you're gaining muscle. So maybe a better measure we thought would be body fat percentage. And then there's healthy guidelines for different age groups, and they're obviously very different for men and women because of how our metabolism and hormones work and how our bodies deposit fat. So we were talking about figuring out a percentage, what our body fat percentage is now, and what percentage of that we would like to lose. And we got to find the good numbers and get those first readings. But that's something we're very interested in doing. But we haven't come to terms like what we're going to put on the line or who else might want to be involved. So I kind of want to put that out there. And Mika, if you want to elaborate at all, or anybody wants to jump in.
Yeah, Craig told me he had a goal that he wanted to go from 22. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
not
shouldn't say
22.
what you're at.
No, it's way higher than that.
Oh, okay.
No,
He'll
I'm
never
at,
see
You wanna-
22 again.
I'm like 23. How could you
I'm
be
at-
higher than 22?
well, my scale, I have one of these scales at the house that weighs you and also somehow knows what your body fat is.
Same.
It says
Yeah,
that-
you got sold, dude. That's not a thing. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not a thing, man. What a gimmick. You got clown.
I mean, supposedly they
you
can
can
do
buy
that
it off
nowadays,
of
man.
fucking Timu. There's no such fucking thing. You just stand on it, it's like, hey, here's your body fat. Bullshit.
So mine's a Fitbit one, and it does do. Supposedly, it does the body fat. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well, mine
you're
says
just
right
right
now,
anything. Holy shit.
mine says that I'm at 26.8% body fat, which is horrifying to me. Last spring, when I was working out really, really hard, Rob was at my house. Jay, I was with you in the summer. I was in shape. I could not break that 20% barrier. I was right at 20%, and I was fit. So I want to get back to that 20%.
Yeah, you were looking good this summer, man. You were
Thanks,
in good
Jay.
shape. You were in good
Thanks,
shape. You were out there every
That's
why
a
morning.
big
assumed.
percent.
Jay, you
That's
were
a
in it.
big percent.
Jay, you were in a shape too.
I was bad shape.
Didn't say what.
So
time, I
what
just-
is what
Degen.
what's the bet then? Are we going like getting down by a percentage or what? What is the?
So it's all
No, Rob, we're going to go
relative
up.
because
We're
we
going to go
all-
up a few percentages is what we're going to do.
I feel like
It's
Rob and I were
actually
up
going to
there.
be Sean's avatar chasing us all around, and that's how we're going to lose our body fat percent.
That would work. That would work. Craig be
Yeah,
running.
so we're going to have a percentage of whatever we are now, but we first also have to I don't know. I'm kind of a rule stickler. Like we need to figure out a real accurate way that we're going to be measuring this at the beginning and at the end. I don't think I'm going to like be okay with Craig's scale.
Craig has a scale. He got it. It was like a big deal. They offered it to him. He went. He bought the scale. It measures your body fat somehow while you're just standing on the fucking thing. And don't worry, he'll find a way to win. Because you can adjust,
I know exactly.
You can adjust the readings for the body fat.
Stop talking for a second, Jay. Just stop talking for a second. Okay, listen.
God,
you're absolutely right. The problem, the hardest part about this is measuring body fat is a fairly inaccurate science. This technology, I don't really believe the damn scale is very accurate either. The best way to probably do it is with skin calipers, where you like take pinches at different places and there's a formula and you put it in the thing and it tells you there's a chart. The problem with that is you have to be able to use the caliper correctly. And that's also, there's a lot of human error in that. And so we'll have to just play around with that a little bit, feel like we can get a good number.
Well, can you just caliper us all this summer? Can you be the official
that
caliper?
Would be the, nah, that's, I mean,
he would still
lie. Awkward, Rob.
Yeah,
are we all in the bathtub while he's doing
You got to do it like
our fat,
up under your armpit,
not shaved
your
in the
chest.
bathtub?
Talking about strokes.
This is going off the rails. The point is, we have to
go to the
more work
doctor.
to do.
Can we go do it at a doctor's
I
office?
was about to say, there are like physicians
Places to do
in the world. Like, I don't know, maybe just go to a physician and just be like, hey,
like the doctor, right?
If you guys need me to negotiate it, I'm good at it.
By the way, everyone has turned off the podcast by now, so let's just move on. We clearly have some more work to do on this specifics to work it out. We'll hash it out off air. We'll come back and let people know we figured out. Okay.
We should get some prop bets from the people. So anyone out there who's got some other additional prop bets that they'd like to see, they should go ahead, drop it in the comments.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You can hit me up directly.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous. I don't know.
I have a comment to make. Somebody in the chat just said that this is a high recommendation. Said, do not go with Craig. He was a wrestler. He will have you in plastic bags on the treadmill. And this sounds like a very worthy source because the name on chat is Lori Savage. So
no way.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, you're outed. You're outed, Craig.
There's no way she's watching.
I guarantee you.
Shit.
You have been outed. So
there's no way she's watching.
Nope.
You want to make a prop bet?
Right. You want to make a bet on that? Okay. Hey Rob, do you have any good ones?
That is absolutely the best way to lose weight.
I want one that I win a tournament this weekend. But I need some kind of odds because it's only 5 tournaments.
Oh, okay.
Taylor's going to be there, right?
Yeah, Taylor's going to be there. Jim's going to be there.
He's going to wreck you, bro.
Okay, so here's what we do.
I'll give you $100 if you can beat him in a hand with pocket fives. I'll give you $100.
Okay.
That's a side. That's a small one. So do we want to, the group of us, say, okay, Rob, if you win the tournament, each of us, what happens if you don't win a tournament? We got it. Well, lay us the odds. Give us the odds.
Well, you tell me the odds because it's not fair for me to say because I don't have to risk as much. So you lay me odds.
I feel like this is a Brett question. He's going to come up with the best number.
No, there's no way I would come up with the best number.
It's very hard to win a tournament.
All right, if I don't win a tournament,
he's only doing 5.
I'll give up Bass for 30 days.
He would have to be the positive odds here.
No benefit.
I'll give up Bass for 30 days. 30 days, no Bass.
There's no benefit for us there.
Yeah.
Zero benefit. Other than we get great ideas.
I feel bad for your roommate, Jim. Like it's over the weekend. Like, come on, man.
We just don't get your great ideas if you don't take a bath. You know what I mean?
So what do you think? It's like 20 to 1?
20 to 1.
20 to 1 in a heartbeat, but that's expensive.
That's too high. That's too high.
It's way too high.
I was thinking like 5.
No, that's not. I think 20 to 1 is good.
I mean, how many people? Wait. How many people are going to be in the tournament?
Craig's always buying anything.
I don't know. I'm going to guess around 100, but I honestly don't know.
Oh, okay. So it's not going to be like 500. It's going to be.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 10 to 1 too high.
Are professionals compared to recreationals in this game?
There are
Rob versus 99 recreational players.
Taylor's going to be there. Who else is going to be there?
Jim's going to be there.
There'll be some
Jim's
winning players there.
Some good players.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying not winning.
There's probably like
they're not breathing poker for the past 12 years though.
But we don't have to do money. Like we could just simply do if I win the tournament, each of you have to take a bath in the next month. Dude, I like that.
I have 6 kids. I have 6 kids. We're doing money. It's not. No, I don't know what kind of charity you think I'm running. I got kids to feed. Man.
All right, Jay. So lay me 150 against my $10.
And what are we betting? Winning? You have to win it outright.
I have to win. Can't chop. I have to win it outright.
Outright. I like it. That 15-1's pretty good.
I'll take it.
All right.
I'm in. I'm in.
Oh, you on that? All right.
Count me in.
Well, we can do that out of our pool, Craig. Can we do that out of our pool?
Now.
Yeah, we'll do that out of our pool.
Y'all are going to make this expensive. All right.
Y'all have
I got
pool.
you. All right. Any others? Any other juicy ones? Craig, can you play 20 live tournaments between now and the summer?
Okay. No. So there's only, I looked 20 live tournaments between now and the summer. There are 18 weekends between now and the summer.
And
I'm trying to beat Day in a global to win a trophy. So I got to be playing some online and I don't stay up late at night. So I got to play some weekends. And when I do play tournaments, I'm going to make a day 2. So it's not like I'm firing 5 bullets like Jay can.
Can't you bring your laptop to the live tables?
Oh, God. Right. How much are we not going to degen it up?
Right.
This is a lot of excuses, Craig.
That's what I hear. I
Go back to episode 1.
20 live.
We just get excuses from Craig.
I think you should focus on live and don't worry about the global thing. It'll be fine.
So far I'm on the
all right,
most
15.
money.
15.
That's fair.
Man. 15 live. Now, is that good? Does that include like if I pop over and play the $100 daily at Copa?
Yes, absolutely.
Any tournament. All right, hold on. He's playing us here, everybody. He's playing us here because he's got a little thing coming up called spring break.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna fire every daily you possibly can.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna stick with 20.
We'll just jump in the truck. I'll help you win this bet. I will jump in my truck and we'll just ride around all day.
20 is a lot.
I think 20 is a
number.
Yeah,
but over spring break, you have 9 days between 2 weekends. You can do a daily every day.
I do have. Look, she's in the chat. I have a wife I have to spend some time with over spring break. We have a common.
If you haven't figured out, we're setting you up right now.
That just means you're giving her the money you win in the bet. That doesn't mean anything.
She gets the money I win anyway.
Lori, Rob needs a bankroll boost. So tell him he cannot play poker.
So I think 20 is a lot. I think 20 is a lot. So what are the terms? If I play 20 live tournaments, what am I putting at risk if I don't hit the number?
That Rob he'll back you.
No. This is easy. If he doesn't hit the number, he can't wear a hat all summer.
No. Or he has to wear a North Carolina hat all summer.
Yes.
Oh no.
That's better.
I'll play 30. I'll play.
You have to wear a North Carolina hat.
I wear a Tar Heel hat.
I'll go broke playing 20 tournaments to not wear a Tar Heel hat.
Okay.
He'll burn my scalp.
You have to wear a Tar Heels cap the entire summer.
If I don't play
if you don't get 20 events between now and June 1st.
What do I get if I hold on, we got to balance this. What do I get if I play 20 live tournaments?
You get an entry to whichever event you want under.
No. I have one. I have one too. If you get to 20, Rob and Jay are only allowed to wear dad hats for the whole summer.
Oh, that'll hurt Jay. That's a good one.
I like that. Now it's going to back off.
And for those of you guys who don't understand, look at Craig's hat. All right,
my hat looks great. Day's hat looks great.
These are dad hats. These are dad hats. And up there, these guys, those big ones.
What do you call
those? Are the ones that they like.
Billboards.
I don't know.
But
I think I like that bet.
Jay doesn't.
I want to see Rob and Jay wearing dad hats.
You want to do a summer of summer of dad hats versus a summer of no hats for 20 tournaments by June 1st?
God bless.
Nah, he's not doing it.
Yeah, I'll do the dad hat thing. I'll do it.
All right, we're in.
You have to do the North Carolina hat. No, we won't make him not wear a hat because I want to walk around with the guy. That's the first thing, is I do want to enjoy my time out with the guy. You know, we go to dinner. I don't want people staring at us. But like the North Carolina thing, yeah, we can do that.
Oh no.
So if you do wear a hat, it has to be North Carolina.
Yeah.
But you can also just not wear one.
20 live events.
I like that.
Before how long do I have? Till what date?
June 1st. The last day you can play is May
I got
31st.
graduation one of those weekends.
You got Memorial Day weekend.
That's graduation.
Break. Oh, Memorial Day weekend's graduation.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Is 15 even possible?
Is it?
I don't even
You can
think,
fire
15's pushing it.
Okay.
I think 15.
You go to the Millie in Philly, you could play 6 tournaments in 4 days.
I mean, yeah, if I play bust and re-enter and play bust, I'm trying to play to win. What you guys don't understand is I'm not going to get that many tournaments in because I'm going to go deep in them.
All right.
How about this? Okay, wait. How about this? If I make a day, every time I make a day 2, it decreases the number by 1 that I have to play. Any tournaments that are multi-day tournaments.
I think
that's
fair. I like
if
it.
If it's a multi-day and I make day 2, that takes my number down.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like
that's
it.
fine.
Right.
20 is still a
Book
lot.
it.
Still 20.
I'll buy the North Carolina hats. I'll have them ready on deck. Let's
go.
on.
Dad hats. All right, I've got it down.
Good.
I'm gonna
All
go
right.
broke.
That's a
Not
good
to wear
start.
that.
We'll keep working on more prop bets, and we'll kind of revisit these over the next
I just got
few weeks.
screwed.
But I want to talk about something even more important. Some things that have gone on this last week, some really exciting things, and this is a conversation that kind of speaks to getting to the same spot over and over again, and kind of eventually breaking through and kind of getting to that next level. And in order to do that, you kind of have to face down some difficult situations. And so we wanted to take a little time to talk about kind of the dark times of poker, the ebbs, the woes, the highs, the lows. And I can remember, for me, I remember it like it was yesterday. Back in 2011, 12, was right after Black Friday. So I guess what was it in 2012? My bankroll was about $1,000. I did what every smart person with $1,000 bankroll does. I went to a casino about 2 hours away, played cash, and was up like $300, $400 at like midnight, and had my chips racked up, was getting ready to go. And I saw the 2 biggest fish from my table, because we were all breaking, decided to start a new game on another table. And I decided to sit down with them, because how could I not play with the 2 fish? And I left at 6:30 in the morning with a $200 bankroll, and oh my God, that was a drive home. I was screaming, I was yelling, I was crying. I just could not understand what the hell happened. And I was so frustrated, because for me, it was like I was trying to do the right thing. Here I am trying to, put myself in good spots. Of course, back then what I thought was the right thing. Now I'm just like, what the hell were you thinking? But I was devastated. It was a crushing, miserable experience. And it took me a while to kind of get over that hump. It took me a while to recover from that. But, I probably have 4 or 5 stories just like it that have kind of, shaped me, formed me, helped me get to where I am today. And I'm glad they're in my past. I'm glad they're in the rear view, but I would not be where I am today if I hadn't had those experiences. I think even though I lost money that night and it hurt, I think I've made more money because of what I lost that night than I would have if I had walked out of that room. So I'm curious for you all, kind of what your dark times in poker look like, and what has kind of helped you get over those types of humps.
Man, I had one this last weekend. It was pretty brutal. I for some reason, I just had like visions of winning this tournament, making the final table. I just was manifesting it. I felt good. I was excited to play. And, I was playing pretty well. I was making good bets with ace high and getting worse ace highs to call, like value betting it, and I felt like I was just on my game. I wasn't catching a ton of cards. I did have aces twice, which I haven't had aces in forever, but I was, building the chip stack and was feeling good. And I was like, this is what it takes. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make day 2, and then it's going to go from there. And I don't know why, but I just got my hopes up on this one. and I lost 3 hands in a row and was out, and I was fucking crushed. Like, it crushed me. And to make it worse, it was the guy on my left who wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I talk a lot. Ask Jay. He's played with me. He knows I talk a lot. Like, and this guy would not shut the fuck up. And he played 90% to 95% of hands. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I don't think I saw him fold. Getting it in with bottom pair against jacks and just runner, full houses or flushes. I mean, shit like that. He was and he was winning every hand he played. I only saw him lose one hand out of a 90% VPIP. And I just lost it. Like, I'm not at the table. I mean, I did stand up and was just like, that's how I fucking run, and just walked out. Like, usually I'm like, good game, nice playing with y'all. I don't usually take the beats this bad, but it really felt like I felt over the summer where I felt like quitting. I started beating myself up really bad. And just thought about just like, this is not the game for me anymore. Like, I just can't do it. I don't have the necessary luck like that it takes. And, and was ready to really just straight give up. I don't even know if I'm still going to be back at the felt anytime in the near future, but it really, really was painful. And, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a tough
Brett,
one.
I hear you. And I know we were texting a little bit, and you were saying about maybe taking a break. And I think that's not a bad idea when we get to feeling this way. That those self-defeating thoughts just kind of override everything else. It's hard to see the other part. In 2010, I had my first ever summer and played the Maine, had a good run, came back, had a really deep run on the river. A month later, had a really deep run at Choctaw. I was just on top of everything. The next summer, Black Friday hit, all the online stuff went away. The next summer, I'm going to return to Vegas, the conquering champion. I mean, last summer, I just went out there and I knew what I was doing. I did the whole thing for the first time. I put together the package. I'm going to play all these tournaments. I'm going to sell action. I'm going to do all this stuff. I had this plan. I stayed at the Riviera. I packed my lunch every day. I was treating it like a job for the first time ever. And I didn't win a hand for days. I felt at 3 days in, I didn't know what a winning hand looked like. I was questioning every decision I was making. I was convinced that they had changed the rules of the game somehow, because nothing I was doing, every time I stepped left, I was supposed to have stepped right. That's how I felt. And it was getting dark. Like, I would just go back to a hotel room by myself, wallow in the despair, question every decision, get up the next day and put myself through it again. And I was really, really emotionally a wreck. And I think people need to hear this, because this game can take you to the highest of the highs, but it can bring you down really, really fast.
Absolutely.
I got on the phone and I called a friend of mine. I called my best friend from college, my college roommate, who was one of the people that bought action. And I told him, I don't know if I can do this. And he says, you don't have to. What do you mean? I was like, you don't have to. I was like, but I sold this package and all these people are depending on me. He's like, everyone will understand. You're in Vegas. Go to the airport. There's a flight to Dallas every 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I went home. And the portion of the package I didn't use, I sent back to people, and I didn't play cards for 8 months. And I had been playing every single day, for a couple of years, a few years. And I stepped away. I didn't know what to do. And, at some point it just hit me. I want to see if I can do this again. And I picked it back up. And so I think a lot of us have gone through these moments. I think the difference is my moment then, I didn't have this. I didn't have you guys. I didn't have anybody else close to me in my life that could relate to the experience. I just had my friends who the summer before thought I was a genius because I went and won and ran good. And now you can't play poker because you can't win a hand. And I think that's what we were talking a little bit about this last week. Having that group around you makes all the difference in the world when we have to handle these inevitable things that happen to us in poker.
Yeah. Like, I can tell you throughout my journey, and I think I've said before that I probably, have come and gone from the game a few times. And it's so funny because I remember the one major point, and this was probably, it'll be 13 years in March that this actually happened. And this was probably the one time that I stepped away for a long time. It was shortly after my daughter was born, and I went to the Brigada to play the event. So I would drive up. This one, I was still on the East Coast, so I was in VA, and I drove up there with a friend of mine. There was 3 of us that were going. We went up, and I used to go to all those events. And it was right around the time where I was just like, I stepped outside of cash for a little bit, just like dip my hands in MTTs, and thought that, like, naturally, we think that we're good at it. And I remember I was playing an event, and first place was like $240K. And we got in a spot pretty late. And this was actually like where the fields weren't as big, it was like that time where like in between where like we had massive fields, and then like fields were growing. And I'll never forget being in a blind on blind situation. And I had queens in the small blind, and I raise, guy calls, flop comes, 10-8 brick. I lead, the guy jams, and this is literally for like a top stack, right? And I remember just like looking up and saying, like, there's no way I'm folding here. And I call, the guy turns over king 10. And I said to him, I was like, what do you have, ace 10 here? And he's like, good read. He turns over king 10. This is blind on blind. The guy punts this thing off for like almost 150 bigs. And we were deep in the tournament. And he has me covered. And I'll never forget the dealer peeling the river and looks up at me. So I can't see the river yet, right? And looks up at me, and he peels the king for 2 pair. I get up, right? This is like the one time in my career where it was like, I have a shot, right? Because it's life-changing money at that time. You know what I'm saying? It still is, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget walking out of that room. I called my wife, and I was outside literally in tears. Like, I literally had tears coming down my face. Like, I hate this game. Fuck this game. I'm never playing again. I came off of a few bad cash sessions. Again, of course, like back then I didn't know a lot of what I know now. But like, I just remember saying, like, there's no way that I could sustain this mentally, and I walked away, man. I didn't play for almost 2 years. That I didn't even pick up cards. I didn't watch cards. I wouldn't even watch it on TV. And I was just like, this is just something that I just can't be a part of, right? Because mentally, I don't know if I can actually withstand this. And then over time, like, I think the passion comes back, like we always say, like, you just get the itch, and it's probably the best time to play, but I can tell you, man, like, you talk about like dark times, dude. Like, you go up there, and like, I'd spend weekends there, man, and I'd drive up, and I'd bring my whole roll and bust, you know what I mean? And I'd sleep in my truck in the parking garage, you know what I'm saying? Wait till daylight, and, get up. And if I see one of my buddies or something at the card room out there, get a couple bucks just to get gas to come home. Like, it's, I think a few of us have probably been in that situation, and you got to dig deep. You really got to dig deep. You got to have your why really tucked away, when you get in those situations, man. But I clearly remember, man, tears coming down my face, because I was so passionate about the game. I love the game. And I just wanted to get to the next level, and this is life-changing. You know what I mean? Again, like, I got a lot of kids, right? So I'm just like, I have a family to take care of, and I'm out here risking this time, right? Not just money, but just time, and just not getting there. And it was pretty brutal, man. It was pretty brutal. So I feel you.
I've had a few moments like you all described, but I think it's worth also describing a different variation, and that is the unraveling of putting in the nonstop grind, especially at the WSOP during the summer, where you don't prioritize yourself. You're chasing the next game that's happening. Your body doesn't feel hungry because your mind is so fixated on the game and doing better and making deep runs, making day twos, lacking that sleep that we all need, lacking the exercise, the sunlight, because you're inside all the time. And the human interaction you do have is with competitors, people that aren't in your corner rooting you on. And to speak frank, I'm not a very good friend when I'm not with you. I'm not great at keeping relationships because I like to say, at least, that I like to be in the present when I'm with people. So I'm not great at being remotely available for people. But that hurts me back. It makes it a really lonely world in poker, especially when I'm at WSOP. So
Yeah.
then I latch on to relationships that I've made during the summer that might not all be that healthy, right? You might be latching on to toxic relationships, which just for me, the past 2 years made me spiral almost into this manic depressive state where I was, like you were saying, really high highs. I would be on break, sometimes doing push-ups, but then 5 minutes later, I would be playing a hand and then just tears coming down my face. What I found to work for me was when I was feeling those emotions, and it happened once each year. So like I knew it was there was potential there and taking steps to be more healthy. But I found actually videotaping myself during those moments, just talking it out, venting to myself and like almost like self-soothing really, really helped me. But yeah, it's wild what this game can bring out in each of us that you just don't think exist within us.
Yeah. To add to that, and like what Craig was saying earlier about, in the past when this has happened, you're by yourself and it makes it harder. But I've never felt more blessed in my life than I did this summer. And we talked about this last episode a little bit, but even more so now that each one of you texted me and like were talking to me and like really just trying to help me get through this. Like I can't tell you how grateful I am for that, because like Craig said, it's usually just you're by yourself and it makes it tougher when you're trying to just deal with all of it on your own. It's almost impossible, I think, in some regards.
Right.
So,
it's the right people. It's having the right people around.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about like that situation. I was up there with 3 people that I had been playing with for a while, right? But they were just the wrong people. Like in that moment, the way that I felt, the response that I got from the guy that was with me, he's like, why didn't you just fold? You know what I'm saying? And I was
thanks,
like,
buddy. Helpful.
Yeah.
Fold free. Got it.
I shit you not. I have not spoken to him since that day. Like,
I believe it.
Literally, the relationship was cut off because it was like in that moment, I don't need that. Like I didn't need that shit. Like we can talk about what the right decisions were, you know what I mean? But that wasn't what I was thinking about. I wasn't even thinking about like the hand, I was thinking about the momentum, the life side of it, the me taking away time from, my family to do this because I have a passion, you know what I mean? And, no pun intended, right? But like chasing the dream and like it gets crushed in one card, and that's just the reality. I know now that that's just the reality of it, right? Back then I didn't know that. You just always thought like when I have queens here, I'm just supposed to hold. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm supposed to be in a spot to win this because it's my time and it's destiny. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go back. You know what I mean? And I can do things, from my family that I couldn't do at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thought process that makes it so devastating sometimes, is because you have so much kind of writing on it a little bit, and you can play this game, you're good at it, and then you take those kind of hits where it's just brutal.
Right. Yeah, it's rough. I think what we have to do is not just we talk about the importance, and I think you guys really touched on it last week while I was absent, in a way, because I was still here for you. But I always am. I'm always the guy who's here for you. I'm here for you guys. But I like, you have to embrace and find yourself a team, a community, some folks that can really like just be there to lean on, during these moments and let you know like, hey, like you're doing fine. You know what I mean? And just think about the other things in life, like you're healthy, like even for like you, like Brett, like, you're a phenomenal dad. Like I think I recall sending you a message and we were talking about an event, and like, and your response to me was pretty much like, hey man, like if God told me I was going to win this event this weekend, I still wouldn't play it, right? Because I would never give up that time. And I'm telling you, that's the important things. Those are the things that you need to think about in those moments, that, you got a healthy son, you're healthy, you know what I'm saying? You got a good team around you. Like, there's just so much more to what we do other than, banking off an event or losing an event,
Yeah.
Yep.
After my, sorry, go ahead, Craig.
Well, no, you go ahead, Brett. I'll wrap up after.
I was just gonna say, after my pity party, that's exactly the thought process I had. I was like, at least I'm healthy. At least, I still have a job. Like, it's still have my house. Those kind of thoughts were definitely, kind of coming back. And but in the moment, obviously I just didn't have those, and I just was just wallowing in self-pity. But after the next night, I started feeling a little better after I slept on it. I mean, not to the point where I had felt great, but right. It just, reality started hitting a little bit more, where it was like, everybody's around. My mom's healthy, my sister, her kids, for the most part, like nobody's right. in like, in the hospital or anything. And so the real stuff, I have water running at the tap. I have food in my fridge. Right. There's a lot of good things that I'm blessed with. And it is important to start thinking about those when you are in these moments. I completely agree.
Right. And I know, Craig, you're going to put a bow on this, but I also, I want to add one last thing though, because it is very important. So when any of us or anyone that's in the game at the level that like we are, because you and I are always grinding cash somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And it becomes a place of like, hey, I don't want to do X. I'm not saying that this is you, but there's a lot of people that are in this space, right? It's like, I can't keep doing this because financially, like, it just doesn't sustain, right? If you can get into a good place mentally, right, to just say like, the beat is the beat, it's part of the game. What could I do differently? Getting into the game, you always have an entry into the game. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways for you to still go play this game and it not be you unloading your entire personal bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of ways to get in the game, man, and stay in the game. So like, you have to avoid some of that. Like, if you know people around you, like if you can find, dude, you just hop online and sell action. Like, life's good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. You're going to pick a big score and you got to give some of it away, but guess what? That's just part of the path, man. You know what I mean?
I'd rather do that than not play. That's for sure.
Right.
For the most part. All right, Craig.
The point I wanted to make is that I think all of us, the type of people I think that are drawn to this game are drawn to it because of the challenge. And we're also the type of people that are high achievers, or we love that sense of achievement. And thus, when it doesn't work out for us in this game where we don't have complete control, like that's what we signed up for, we become our own worst enemy. Like we internalize all the bad luck, if you will, as if a personal affront. And when our emotional brain jumps in there, it's very difficult to get out of that space. We can sit there, but this is why the group works, right? So, this summer, if I had a bad beat or a bad tournament, I'd come back and Jay, either he's gonna fix it with humor, or he's gonna fix it with logic that I can't do in the moment because I can't see myself the way you can see me. With not that it's dispassionate, because Jay is passionate about you, or I could be passionate about you, but with the perspective that in the moment we can't take with our own actions. And if you don't have that sounding board, if you don't have that person, then you either do one of two things. You either blame yourself, or you just you blame luck. And when sometimes it's bad play, Jay, look. If you want to know if you played a hand badly, ask Jay. He's not going to be like, oh, yeah, it's okay. He's like, no, you played it badly. But if you don't have, there's two parts to that. You have to have someone that's going to give you the honest feedback, and you got to want to hear the honest feedback. But in that moment of that hurt, because Jay's felt it before, and Mika's felt it before, and Rob's felt it before, and we've all felt it, we might look at you and say, we don't want to talk about the hand right now.
Right.
Just go get something to eat and just change it. And none of us are defined by this game. Like, it doesn't define me. But when we're in that mode, like Mika said, when you're out there for the summer and you've put all this work into it leading up to it, you've been studying, and then it just doesn't go, and you start to question everything you did up to that point. it's very difficult because in that moment you are defining yourself through the game. And we're defined by way more than that. We're defined by the relationships we have with people and how we live our lives and all those other ways that we define ourselves. And poker is just one aspect of who we are. And when we put it too high, then we open ourselves up to this pain.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think it's important for people who because I think a lot of times when we talk, we want to celebrate the positives and the up, but we have to acknowledge that the highs of this game wouldn't feel as good if we couldn't contrast them with the lows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing too, I'll say about Jay, like as sad as I was, and I think one thing that really helped me was starting that next day was Sunday. My sadness about halfway through the day was replaced by happiness for Jay. And like seeing him doing well, like I really felt great about it. And like that helped me improve.
Did Jay do something this weekend?
Oh, Jay, did you?
I can't remember anything.
Rob,
I woke up. That's my
wait.
Yeah, true.
Wait, have we been skipping something? I had a good cash game session. Is that what you're talking about?
You suck at cash.
I do not, and my hourly is tremendous. But
Speaking. Yeah, go ahead, Craig.
No, let's go there.
Speaking of adversity, kudos to Jay here, who is unknowingly and unwillingly played a very solid role today, because we told him we were going to talk about his big final table in the A block, and everybody but him knew that we were going to keep pretending that we were going to bring it up. And shout out to him, because he's just sat here and he's gotten involved in every conversation. He's taking it like a champ.
It ain't about me, man. It's not about me. You guys know me better than that. The joke's on you because you don't know me better than that, I guess.
Those of you that were listening on the podcast, if you're on Apple or Spotify or whatever, you'll have to come watch the video, because the look on his face in the first block when I introduced it and then I took it to Craig.
I was like, what? Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was even like, good job, guys. Like he knew he got that.
I want to hear, so Jay, I want to hear about this Uber Eats delivery guy who showed up with a high fructose syrup, corn and syrup drink and a protein bar, and like,
it was great. I had to I was sleep.
Did you get a sippy straw?
Yeah, I was literally asleep at the table. I was dozed off, nodding, and my buddy Craig, because see, I know how to put my phone on vibrate and stuff like that. So like it was in my pocket and it's like vibrating. I look, it's like Craig. He's like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then I pick my head up and there's this like random guy there with a dad hat on, handing me some vitamins and protein shakes and bars, to keep me alive. You know what I mean? There's nothing better. And it was a free Uber meal. So you know what I mean?
Well, why?
All right, Jay, we need some details, Jay. Come on.
I gave him the details.
You're around all this stuff. Like, no, not the details about Craig, the details about your deep run. And it was on stream. Is this your first on stream, or have you been on stream before?
No, I've been on stream before. I get to say that confidently, unlike Craig. So
I was on stream with you.
Craig. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you played a cash stream.
So why would you?
Yeah, but this is also my fifth final table at TCA. That's fine.
Bring it home.
No. So anyway, we had an eventful weekend. Let's talk about the real deal stuff. So we had an eventful weekend. Friday, we talk about how we should just grind hard, right? When we talk about what it really takes for you to like take yourself to the next level, and when we talk about like chasing your dream, like you have to do things that other people sometimes aren't willing to do. I'm not saying people don't, some people just don't have the ability to do it, and not that they're not capable, they just don't have it, right? They don't have the time, things of that nature. But so Friday I played over at the Copa. I had
without telling your backer.
Yep. I kept them out of that one because I wanted to keep some of my own money. I have Brett to my left. I took his ass to Value Town, and then we final tabled that event because he got called off. He got donked off. I won't say the hand, but it was pretty hilarious. I know why he was frustrated in the 400K because of the call that was made at the Copa the night before. It's pretty ridiculous.
Cut to the chase, Jay. You stayed up till like 3 a.m. Friday.
3 a.m. We final tabled
to chop.
Took the chop. The
Chop how many ways? 8
chop in
ways?
the world.
Like
eight
eight-way chop?
ways. It's like an 8-way chop because I was like, man, I want to play this event tomorrow. So I get home, I sleep for like 4 hours. I get up and then I meet Brett down at the social. We go fire the morning flight of the 400K. I am running pretty lucky. Not pure, just lucky. I got in a pretty good spot. I run my stack up, get pretty deep, and then I run ace king into kings. And it's like 450. It's like 450, 445. And I'm sitting there now. I'm annoyed, right? Because Brett's annoyed. I'm annoyed. I'm just like, everybody's annoyed. But you know me, I'm like,
Craig wasn't. Craig was making money at Copa.
We're going to go light these streets on fire. To include any of my backers' money, anybody who had action in me, we were just going to throw gasoline on that thing. So I jump in my truck and I shoot over because I was like, all right, well, now I can get here and I was an alternate at the morning one. So I wouldn't be an alternate. And I was like, I can get right in and I'll be in it like at least by the end of level 1. So we get in, we sit down, very first hand there, I catch aces. I'm telling you, I promise you, I haven't seen aces in probably, I couldn't even tell you how many events. And then we just went on a heater early. I had the perfect table though. Like I literally had the perfect table. By the end of the first break, we were chip leading that flight. By the end of the second break, when we got to the late reg, we were still leading that flight. And it was a little bit of an up and down. And then we bag. So that was done at 2:30 in the morning. So I had to go, come home, go to day 2. We get to day 2 and there's 140 left. I was about top 13 stacks. I think Day was probably keeping better track than I was. I think
you were 13. I didn't bring it
13.
to your attention because I was worried that you were going to think it was unlucky, but you were 13.
I know. But luckily, my name is Jason, so we can kind of part ways with that part a little bit. So we just get absolutely torched with the bottom end of the deck. I can't tell you how many hands I saw that had a 3 in it, and none of them were actually 2 3s. It was just brutal. But I had a decent enough stack. So it was like up, down, up, down. I broke 1 million, went back down to 700K, got to 1.2, went back down to 600K. And then I got to a spot where I got to 500K, brought it back up. And then we got like 15 handed. And I never saw another like decent hand. We were probably, I will tell you, we dropped down to 3 big blinds by the time we got to the final table bubble. And it was pretty annoying, but I was like, I'll just, I'll find a spot. I'll be uber patient. I literally told Craig the hand that I folded in a spot that I just felt like this guy just always has it, and I folded. And then he told me what he had after, and I was kind of annoyed. But I laid down a pretty big hand in the big blind. I probably should not be folding. And I think I had like 5, 6 big blinds there. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't call this off. It was under the gun shove and I'm in the big blind. I was like, I just can't call this.
Because you have to make the final table to get your patch.
Well, yeah, that was the prime reason why I was just like, if I don't get this patch, I'm gonna be annoyed, So I think we got past that spot. And then I found a blind on blind spot. The guy on my right knew at this point, he was like, he's just going to fold off. He's going to fold off. And I woke up with king 9. I called and we doubled. But then I just caught steam and I just kept fire. I just kept like picking up pots. So I went from 3 to like 16 big blinds. Whoop, ran it up. And then the guy at the other table I knew was going to punt. So at this point, I'm just like, well, from an ICM perspective, I don't need to play another hand. Like this guy is going to punt. And sure enough, boom. The guy at my left, actually ended up busting because he got way too short and he got it in with ace deuce off, which goes back to what I'm saying. Like you can find spots where you just can fold. Like you just have to fold in this game, Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we got to day 2, our day 3 final table, and I went in short stacked. We got a ladder. We got the ladder. I was trying to be as patient as I can at that final table. I know you guys probably, everyone here saw the stream. I actually had a really good friend who showed up. So, I mean, Brett was there. Craig gave me every excuse why he wasn't. But we got to this final table, and I just literally, it was from 15th all the way down to the hand that I busted on, which was getting it in with ace queen off. That was the best hand that I saw from 15 players left. It was just 2 days of just being absolutely card dead. There were some spots where it was like I wasn't spot dead, right? Like I was able to pick up chips here and there to keep myself alive a little bit, but literally I folded. I think I was telling Rob, I folded. I think I totaled it up to be like 6 hours of just purely folding, like bleeding blinds,
So Jay, let's talk about this for a second. Clearly, you have no respect for your backers' money because the night before a $400,000 guarantee tournament, you're playing like $100 tournament until 2 a.m. at Copa. Okay,
that was
because you're built that way. And then you bust the first flight, and you text me, "Hey, I'm gonna set some more of your money on fire," and I'm like, "Fine by me." Okay, and then I worry about maybe Jay's probably running low on fuel, so I leave my house and I drive over and bring you vitamins because the guy next to you is coughing up a lung, protein bar,
dirty bastard.
I give you a fist pump, tell you to hang in there. Okay. And then
you supported me. Right? You supported me.
Okay. Just checking it. And then the next day I had an event, and I said, I will come straight there from the event. You just got to stay in the tournament long enough for me to get there.
Yeah.
So is it really on me or on you that I wasn't there supporting?
It was on me. I was probably supposed to fold ace queen until you showed up.
Yeah.
But I couldn't wait any longer. You know what I'm saying?
Jay, this was revenge for last summer, right?
Yeah, when you
right. When I had to cancel my $400 steak dinner to go drive all the way over and watch Craig punt it off with ace 10. See, that was ace 10. I had ace queen.
It's pretty much the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
Definitely not the same thing.
You love ace 10.
Yes, we ended up binking off eighth place for like.
Don't say. Oh, the IRS is listening.
Oh,
yeah.
For
$12.
For $12, yeah.
$12. We,
Okay.
It was a good run. I felt good. I there was no way I was going to avoid the guy in the 3 seat was he had God mode clicked on, so there was nothing we could do. I mean, the guy had a hand, every hand, and even if it was a marginal hand, he like just drills the board, right? Drills flops, drilling turns. There was just nothing you were going to do against that. And the guy was just running on a heater.
I do want to say, and this is something that I want to get better at because I watch you do this. Most people, given the cards you were given, would have busted that tournament in 30th place or
long
higher.
before,
because they would have lost patience. They would have forced a spot. They would have ignored that thought in their head that guy is probably strong. I got too good of a hand. I'm going to shove. But you managed to stay in that place where you didn't let those moments of impulsivity that bubble up when you get in short late in a tournament. I get in these spots late tournament, and this little thing bubbles up in me that I have to do this thing. How do you get around that little voice that says, well, I have to do this thing? Because you're like, well, no, you don't. How do you get to that place where you can find those little nuances because the book says do this, or you've done this in the past with this hand, and this is what you should do? And how did you hang in that tournament with the cards that you had way longer than I think I know longer than I would have?
To start, a lot of it is just, again, experience, where there's too many times that you play in an event and then you get it in with a particular hand and you go, yeah, nah, like I shouldn't have pitched it in here with this, right? And they're just like hands that are like Jack 7, you're on the button, you're just like, this is a go, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, no, there's time, there's time. Because we bumped up to 40-minute levels, but it's just the mental stability, the strength of I know my spots, right? But I don't think there's a single spot that says 7-3 is a go. You know what I'm saying?
But do you is you think this is something that you can get better at? Not you, but like, I mean, a
Yes.
person.
Yes, absolutely. Like anyone that you're gonna find yourself in these situations quite a bit, you know. And
Let's
when you
hope so.
hear, like, when you,
Let's hope so.
like if you hear a lot of folks say you make a lot of money folding, you make a lot of money folding, you know. And I made decent amount of money folding, because when you're in these spots, like people say, like they talk ICM, but then they don't like really think through it, and like when you need to go into that mode. But when you're card dead, it's very different, right? Because now it's like, well, wait, like I understand the ICM, but like I still have to pick up chips here, right? I can't win with this stack. But you just have to go so deep and find the level of patience. And you have to like disregard sometimes of like, hey, like this is a standard shove, you know? And it's like, no, it's a standard shove, maybe at the right table where, you know, people are going to not make the correct calls. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the table that, like, if I knew that if I shoved here a little bit wider than I normally would, this person in the big blind, he's going to call off so correct. I probably just don't even want to get my money in here. You know what I mean? But like, you have to work on your patience, man. Like you have to work on your patience, your mental game. I don't know if this is a good time for some people to pull out a phone and just like wander off if you want to. You know, for me, I don't really pull my phone out, but like it is something that you can do. You can learn. It just takes time. It takes patience. You can study, right? Like the studying helps. I mean, I knew my ICM implications in this spot. And I also, again, I knew like I couldn't win in certain situations too, or I didn't like my odds. You know what I mean? Then we talk about some portions of the tree that just make sense, you know, that it's just like, hey, like if you want to be a winning player, like you just have to take these situations and leave it up to the cards. I didn't feel that I had to do that. You know what I mean? I just felt like the cards will turn around, you know?
Yeah.
And when they do, it'll be in my favor.
Yeah. And I told you this in person too, like after it all happened, that, you know, I was super proud of you. And I don't think 99% of the player population, especially the one we play, is more like 99.9, would have lasted as long as you did with the exact card you were dealt. So I'm very proud of how you played, man. I think you put yourself in the best absolute chance to win. And just in the end, it just didn't happen, but it will for sure.
So, but there's always next weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
the main event,
right?
This week.
right.
One milli. That's better than 4 or 538 or whatever it got up to.
But there's a problem. There's a problem, Jay. The field's going to be tougher this weekend.
It doesn't get any tougher than it was last weekend, Craig.
The field's going to get tougher this weekend.
Oh, are we going to be a +1? Are we going to have a +1?
Is this the last prop bet of the stream here? We're going to get a last longer.
The field is going to be tougher this weekend.
Let me tell you, I played some really, really good poker. I didn't play perfect, but I played really good poker, you know? I don't even think that I was playing at my best, but I played really well. You don't have a shot in hell if I turn it up another notch by showing up. So your best bet is probably just find another table, man, and figure it out. Because if you come to my table, it's over. I will tell you, and it's funny because I know Dave was asking me like, hey, you know, were there any nerves? Was you the first one? It was weird going into this one because I really, really wanted this trophy. There was a point where I was going so dead. I found my part of my motivation of like, Dave, just don't punt, you know, where I caught a clear vision of the trophy because it was sitting on a table next to the TD. And I was like, I got to get this shit on my mantle so Craig will leave me alone. And I just like, I wanted so badly, right, to take that home, man, that I wasn't going to allow myself to walk out of that room and be like, Jesus, I did not have to put it in there. You know, like at the final table, I made a pretty big fold, in my opinion, in a spot that it's like, if I had a little more fold equity in this spot, I would just rip. But it was the most awkward spot to be in. But because I just like went through my progression of, you know, at least how I study in certain spots, I'm just like, I could easily be dominated in a spot right here. I don't have any fold equity. I'm just going to get called off, right? It was the hand that I had ace-7 off. And I'm just going to get called off by that particular guy who opened, who would call me off with ace-8, right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, when I saw the hand, I was actually surprised that guy opened that hand. So now I was a little annoyed, but in the moment, it's the right play, you know? Yeah. And I was okay with that. And as long as I know that I can look back and see like, hey, the decisions I made along the way were the right decisions long term, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny you said that. There was remember when the river was a big tournament? When Sarah had the river? I got deep. I got to a day 3 or day 4 on that thing, and we were down to 3 tables, and they were giving away a car with first place.
Oh,
and I was sitting. It was a Porsche, and it was like
Porsche
right
van.
in front of me, and I was looking at it all day, going, "That's my car. That's my car."
Right.
It was not my car.
It was like champagne color.
I wish Rob would have did that when he was in Vegas and say that's my car and came home with a new McLaren, but that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. Brett, man, you got some fans in the chat. Somebody just asked if you were single, and like 3 people responded yes, like right out of the gate. So I don't know what's going on there, but you can find Brett. Why don't you just go ahead and give everybody your socials real quick?
Yeah,
you never know here.
At Vader Poker.
At Vader_poker. That's the easiest.
What about your OnlyFans though?
Yeah.
What was it? What was it? Yeah, Sexy Brett OnlyFans.
Sexy Brett.
Sorry, it's pizza. It's at Sexy Brett if you're interested. It's pizza and bath day here in the Venom house, but
yeah, we gotta highlight that. Let's highlight
we
that.
can help you out.
Jay, I'm not following your social handle there.
What my social handle is? I forgot to put the @. So it's at Craig sucks at poker /Twitter. So I forgot. My bad. Damn. Here, I'll put.
Hey, you guys, have you noticed how quiet Sean's been all pod?
Yeah, Sean, you need to keep your shit down.
Not really.
I fixed it.
Pretty normal.
He looks the same. So I don't know.
Right. Sean, you're actually looking good today.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Got some color today.
I fixed my handle. I fixed my handle there for you. There you go. I updated it.
There you go.
Right
Oh, little typo.
You can find me at
Venom coaching. There you go.
On Twitter.
I'm very excited for this next week. I know everybody between live and online, we're all going to be firing really hard this weekend, and so hopefully we'll have some more success stories. Hopefully some prop bets will be won and lost in the next week, and we'll have a lot more to talk about. So thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question.
You can have a question.
Mika, you watched the final table, right?
I sure did.
Would you have jammed King 8 of clubs there?
Yeah, probably.
Yep, I would have.
Dude, and when I folded, the first thing I said in my head was, Mika would have told me I should have jammed this hand.
But good fold A7. I would have folded that. So
yeah,
right. I knew it was a jam, but I was like, nah, we got one more orbit in us. Yeah. Yep, I agree.
Good stuff. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. That's going to be it for us for Mika, Brett, Craig, Venom, Day, and the infamous Raven Rage. That's it for us. We will see you guys next week. Does anybody know where the outro is?
Yeah,
that's on you, buddy.
Hey, Sean, stop talking.
Yeah, Sean.
Hit the button, Sean.
I'm going for mine. You put it on mine.